Um, what's up, gang? So, we were gonna just do Can I Beat the Prelude before Devin reached the first chapter of the Moby Dick, but he took too long, so I just decided to go to the V2 fight. If you want to see more content like this, let us know, because we definitely will. This was actually really fun to do. So, enjoy, I guess. Bye-bye. Okay, well, we should do a proper intro now. Well, guys, this video is going to see how far Devin can read into the Moby Dick Chapter 1.
Hello.
Before I get
Before I beat the
eating?
prelude, but if I beat the prelude too fast, I'm just going to keep
Wait,
going and then see
wait,
where I
who's the
end off.
who's after? What's after the prelude?
After the prelude, it's, Limbo? No. Yeah.
Who's in limbo?
The first V1 fight's there. Or V2. V2. I'm
Yeah,
a
you
real
can.
fan,
Can I
guys, I
kill V
promise.
two? Can I kill V two before my friend finishes the first chapter
I
of
mean,
the
we
Moby
could,
Dick?
yeah. Wait, Devin, you ready?
Absolutely.
Stop. Wait, hold on. Let me put a timer on too, just
By
to
the
do it.
way, I just want everyone to know watching this, I haven't played Ultra Kill like 4 months, or not 4 months, like
All
two
right.
months.
Are you ready?
So, yes.
Yep.
Are you set?
No.
Yep.
Wait, Nate. Do you have to do the intro before I set the timer, or do you just click yes?
I could just press now, and then it would put me into the first level.
So are we just doing? Okay, we're not doing the first level.
Just
Then.
give the
All right.
countdown.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Call me Ishmael. Some years ago, never mind how long precisely, having little or no money in my purse, and nothing particular to interest me on shore, I thought I would sail about a little and see the watery part of the world. It is a way I've. What the hell? It is a way I have of driving off the spleen and regulating the circulation. Whenever I find myself growing grim about the mouth, whenever it is damp, drizzly, November in my soul, whenever I find myself involuntarily
die.
passing before coffin warehouses and bringing up the rear of every funeral I meet, and especially whenever my hippos get such an upper hand of me that requires a strong moral principle to prevent me from deliberately stepping into the street and methodically knocking people's hats off. Then I account it high time to get to sea as soon as I can. This is my substitute for pistol and ball. With a philosophical flourish, Cato throws himself upon his sword. I quietly take to the ship. There is nothing surprising in this. If they but knew it, almost all men
You're
in their
telling the
degree,
game.
sometime or other, cherished very nearly this same feeling towards the sea, towards the ocean with me. There now is your insular city of Manhattos, belted round by wharves of Indian
Yeah, you
isles
don't
by
need to
coral
kill
reef.
everybody. You can just keep on
Immersed
going.
surrounds it with her surf right and left. The streets take you waterward. Waterward. Its extreme downtown is the battery where the noble mole is washed by waves and cooled by breezes which few hours previous were out of sight of land. Look at the crowds of water gazers. What the fudge is that word, bro? Circumambulates the city of a dreamy Sabbath afternoon. Go from Corliers, hook to Coenties, slip and from thence, by Whitehall, northward. What do you see? Posted, like silent sentinels all around the town, stand thousands upon thousands of mortal men fixed in ocean reveries, some learning against the spiles, some seated upon the pierheads, some looking over the bulwarks of ships from China, some high aloft in the rigging as if striving to get a still better seaward peep. But these are all landsmen of weekday, pent up in lath and plaster, tied to counters, nailed to benches, clinched to desks. How then is this? Are the green fields gone? What do they hear? But look, here comes more crowds, pacing straight from the water and seemingly bound for a dive strange. Nothing will content them but the extremest limit of the land, loitering under the shady lee of yonder warehouses. Will not suffice. No, they must they must get just as nigh the water as they possibly can without falling in, and then they stand miles of them, leagues, inlanders. All they come from lanes and alleys, streets and avenues, northeast, south, and west. Yet here they all unite. Tell me, does the magnetic virtue of the needles of the compasses of all those ships attract
Yo,
them
Nate,
neither?
low-key, you did not need to do
Once
that.
more, say you are in the country in some highland of lakes. Take almost any path you please, and 10 to 1 it carries you down in a dale and leaves you there by a pool in the stream. There is a magic in it. Let the most absent-minded of men be plunged in its deepest reveries. Stand that man on his legs. Set his feet a going, and he'll infallibly lead you to water. If water there be in all that region, should you ever be athirst in the great American desert, try this experiment. If your caravan happen to be supplied
What
with
the
a
hell is
metaphysical
Ishmael talking
professor,
about?
don't know. Yes, as everyone knows, Mediterranean and water are wedded forever. But here is an artist. He desires to paint you the dreamiest, shadiest, quietest, most enchanting bit of romantic landscape in all of the Valley of Saka. Where, yo, what is the chief element he employs? There stands his trees, each with a hollow trunk as if a hermit and a crucifix were within. And here sleeps his meadow, and there sleep his cattle. And up from yonder cottage goes a sleepy smoke. Deep into distant woodlands winds a mazy way, reaching to overlapping spurs of mountains bathed in their hillside blue. But through the picture lies thus tranced, and though this pine tree shakes down its sighs like leaves upon the shepherd's head, yet all were vain unless the shepherd's eye were fixed upon the magic stream before him. Go visit the prairies in June, when for score of miles you wade knee deep among tiger lilies. What is the one charm wanting water there is not a drop, but water there. Were Niagara but a Yo, what the hell is
Yo,
he
can
talking about?
Speak English!
Were Niagara but a contract of sand, would you travel your 1,000 miles to see it? Why did the poor poet of Tennessee, upon suddenly receiving 2 handfuls of silver,
Where the hell did
deliberate
Tennessee come
whether
from?
to buy him a coat, which he sadly needed, or invest his money in a pedestrian trip to Rockaway Beach? Why is almost every robust, healthy boy with a what the fuck is it? What the fudge? With a robust, healthy soul in him at some time or other crazy to go see. Crazy to go to the sea. Why, upon your first voyage as a passenger, did you yourself feel such a mystical vibration when first told that you and your ship were now out of sight of land? Why did the old Persians hold the sea holy? Why did the
Why did you
Greeks
write? Like, come on.
why did the Greeks give it a separate deity, an own brother of Jove? Surely all of this not without meaning, and still deeper the meaning of the story of Narcissus, who, because he could not grasp the tormenting mild image, he saw it in a fountain, plunged into it, and drowned. But that same image we ourselves see in all rivers and oceans is an image of the ungraspable phantom of a life. And this is the key to it all. There's so much more to go. Oh my god. Now, when I say that I am in the habit of going to sea whenever I begin to grow hazy about the eyes and begin to be overconscious of my lungs, I do not mean to have it inferred that I ever go to sea as a passenger.
Is he going insane?
I don't know. For to go as a passenger, you must needs have a purse, and a purse is but a rag unless you have something in it. Besides, passengers get seasick, grow quarrelsome, don't sleep of nights, do not enjoy themselves much, as a general thing. No, I never go as a passenger, nor though I am something of a salt. Do I ever go to sea as a commodore or a captain or a cook? I abandon the glorious distinction of such offices to those who like them. For my part, I abominate all honorable, respectable toils, trials, and tribulations of every kind whatsoever. It is quite as much as I can do to take care of myself without taking care of ships, barracks, brigs, schooners, and whatnot.
Lunars.
And as for going as cook, though shut the heck up. I confess there is considerable glory in that a cook, being a sort of officer on a ship, bored yet somehow I never fancied broiling fowls, though once broiled judiciously buttered and judgmatically salted and peppered. There is no one who will speak more respectfully, not to say reverentially, of a broiled fowl than I will. It is out of the what are these words? It is out of the indultrious dottings of the old Egyptians upon broiled ibis and roasted river horse that you see the mummies of these creatures in their huge bakehouses and pyramids. No, when I go to sea, I go as a simple sailor, right before the mast, plumb down into the forecast, aloft there to the royal masthead. Truly, they rather order me about some and make me jump from spar to spar like a grasshopper in a May meadow. And at first, this sort of thing is unpleasant enough. It touches one's sense of honor, particularly if you come on an old established family in the land. The Van Rensselaers, Rensselaers, what? Okay, or Randolphs, or yo, what are these names? Hardican, Hardican, Hardicanoots, Hardicanauts, Hardicanoots. I'm just gonna go with it. And more than all, if just previous to putting your hand into the tar pot, you have been lording it as a country schoolmaster, making the tallest boys stand in awe of you. The transition is a keen one, I assure you, from a schoolmaster to a sailor, and requires a strong deco
Decohedron?
koshin, yo, oh, deco koshin of Senaka and Stoics, Stoics, to enable you to grin and bear it. But even this wears off in times. What of it if some old hunks of a sea captain orders me to get a broom and sweep down the decks? What is the... Sorry, I'm just checking how much I have left. Holy shuz! Okay.
Do you want to just stop after I beat V2?
Yeah. Oh my god. Why is there so much? What is he talking about?
Chapter of the Moby Dick was a short
I don't even
prologue.
know what he's talking about, bro. And I'm the one reading. Whatever.
I thought you read the Moby
What?
Dick.
No, you read the dictionary.
Yo.
No, I thought you read
No,
the
we
Moby
don't.
Dick.
We don't need to make that public. We do not need to make that public. Anyways, get a broom and sweep down the decks. What does that indignity amount to, Wade? I mean, in the scales of the New Testament, do you think the new archangel? What? Do you think the archangel Gabriel thinks any ultra kill
Gabriel!
anything less of me because I promptly and respectfully obey that old hunks in the particular instance? Who ain't a slave? Tell me that. Well then, whoever the old sea captains may order me about, however they may thump and punch me about, I have the satisfaction of knowing that it is all right, that everybody else in one way or other served in much the same way, either in a physical or metaphysical point of view. That is, and so the universal thump is passed round, and all hands should rub each other's shoulder blades and be content. What is he talking about? Again, I always go to sea as a sailor because they make a point of paying me for my trouble, whereas they never pay passengers a single penny that I have ever heard of. On the contrary, passengers themselves must pay, and there is all the difference in the world between paying and being paid. The act of paying is perhaps the most uncomfortable
Now, what are you
infliction that the
talking
two
about?
orchid thieves entailed upon us, but being paid, what will compare with it? The urban activity for which a man receives money is really marvelous, considering that we so earnestly believe money to be the root of all earthly ills, and that on no account can a moneyed man enter heaven. Ah, how cheerfully we consign ourselves to perdition. Finally, I always go to sea as a sailor, because the wholesome exercise and pure air of the forecastle deck, whereas in the world, headwinds are far more prevalent than winds from astern. That is, if you never violate the Pythagorean maxim. What? So for
Why
the
is he
most
talking
part,
about
the
math?
Commodore on the counter deck, that his atmosphere at second hand from the sailors on the forecast. He thinks he breathes it first, but not
He
so.
beat him.
In much the same way do the
Devin, you can stop. Devin, you can stop. He
Oh
beat
my
you too.
god.
Um,
Yo.
Bro, why was he starting to? Why was he starting to get zesty? All hands should become soldiers. He started to get zesty on
Bro,
him, dog. This big hunk of a captain. What are you talking about?
What incarnation is it talking about?
How long did that take me to do that? By the way, before
Oh wait, hold
anyone
on. I
watched
have a
this
timer
video,
going.
I haven't played Ultra Kill in like 3 months. That's why you saw me die
That
4
is
times.
that was 13 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yo, I was like four whole passages away.
Oh my god. Maybe we should have done something easier.
You can't expect me to read this.
The Moby Dick.
Well,
I'm gonna get called dumb for mispronouncing those words, but like, come on now.
well, yeah, this seems like a good video for today. You guys want to say anything?
Oh,
You know what the
thanks for
hell this
listening.
man's talking?
Thanks for listening to me yap.
You know, when I was listening to Devin read and while I was watching, I was like, yo, this dude actually existed at one point in time. This dude is alive. Was alive.
Are you off the perk?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. I don't think Moby Dick is based off a true story, bro.
It's not?
I'll look it up. Hold on. Wait. Don't end the video yet. Hold on.
Hold
This
on
is
a
very
second.
important.
Is Moby Dick based on a true story?
Okay.
Okay. Is Moby Dick real? Moby Dick, the white whale in Herman Melville's novel Moby Dick is not based on a single true story, but draws inspiration from several real-life incidents. The most significant source of inspiration was the sinking of the whaling ship Essex by a sperm whale in 1820, which led to the survival horror of a crew, including instances of cannibalism. Jesus Christ. Cheese and rice, Mooney!
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I always thought the Moby Dick was based off of some random dude who was like, yeah, I hate that whip.
Kill that whale!
Well, yeah.
Um,
If you liked our story time of Moby Dick,
Tell us if you want more content like this. Also, Dead by Daylight content.
you should
said that in the
definitely
last
suggest us
thing.
games.
Oh yeah.
You should definitely suggest us some games to play. Thank you for listening to me yap for a bit. Sorry for screaming.
They did suggest. We just haven't done it yet. We'll probably
Oh,
play epic
actually?
mini
Okay.
games.
We'll do those eventually, I promise. I think. Are we?
If you guys have a Thirsties around your house, or I'm pretty sure they rebranded a water to a tea, go get that. It's really good. I'd be sipping on that right now, low key. Anyways, bye. Say bye.
Bye-bye, y'all.
I don't know if Kenny said.
My name is Jonathan. I'm also saying goodbye right now.
Okay. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, right? Yeah, that was awesome. If you want us to do more content like this, like I said in the beginning, just let us know. This was really fun to do, and I'm sure they would be down to do it again. Good morning, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this. Mwah!